Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Untapped Podcast. My name is Jacob Gabel.
And my name is Jacob Wurtz, guys. Welcome to episode 191 of the Untapped Podcast. If this is your first time joining us, first of all, thank you. We are thrilled to have you here with us. We actually have 5 main formats of our show. So first, we have Forging Fortitude episodes, which is what we have today for you guys. Now, in these ones, we cover the mental side of our brand. So we go over our anecdotal experiences with things like mindset and mentality. We then pass on tips and advice to you guys to then apply to your own lives. Next, we have physical vitality episodes. Now, in these episodes, we cover the physical side of our brand. So in these ones, we really get to showcase our expertise because you have 2 certified personal trainers here. Now, in these ones, we cover everything that we offer through our Untapped Training app, which is proudly powered by the First Form Performance platform. So if you guys have any questions about what we offer through that, please get a hold of us. We are more than willing and more than able to help you get the results that you desire. Now, in addition to that, we cover everything to do with the gym, workouts, diet, nutrition, supplements, mental toughness programs like 75 Hard, for example. And then at times, we will take trending articles or topics within the fitness industry and give our thoughts and opinions on those. Now, guys, just something to keep in mind here. These physical vitality episodes, they are full of free game. So make sure you pay attention.
Beautiful, dude. All right, on to our third format, guys. That is our breaking news format. It is a current event-based format. We touch on current events, current articles going on in today's world, primarily the United States, of course, since that's where we are based. Now, keep in mind, a lot of the content you see around current events is very doom and gloom and the negative aspects of everything going on in the world. Now, we're here to provide the solution-based aspect to those events. Now, on to our fourth format, that is our Knights Table format, is a masculinity-based format. We sit down and touch on things like toxic masculinity, if it's real, what it really is, fatherhood, the impact it's had on all 3 of our lives in here, and then male-based topics in general and how important men are to the future of not only the world, but primarily this country, the United States. Keep in mind, though, I'm 27, Wurtz is 27. Our producer, Mitchell, is 25. Because of that reason, we are not coming to you as some all-put-together perfect man. The only perfect man to ever walk this earth is Jesus Christ. Now, on to our 5th format, that is our guest format. We sit down with entrepreneurs, fitness professionals, athletes, doctors, anybody with a great story or somebody who brings you value, also caffeine experts like our previous guest episode, 189. That was our last one 2 episodes ago if you want to check that out, with Nick Tomjanovich. Now, on those, we learn a ton from the guests on those episodes. You, in turn, will learn a lot from those episodes. Now, or the fact of the day and the main content of the episode is our producer and my brother, Mitchell Gabel.
Yo, what's going on?
Yo, let's go, dude. We locked in?
Are we making a mess over here?
Just saying, scoot your chair. You're rocking the table here.
Oh, good call. Yeah.
Yeah.
See,
There we go.
even 191 in, we're still doing stuff like that,
Yeah,
right?
right?
Yeah. I mean, come on, dude.
It's because he's spilling out of the chair. He's
Wow.
so big.
Wow.
Goodness
Hey, I'm
gracious.
telling you, the program's helping with the body recomp right now. Things are
There
going
you
in the
go.
right direction.
There you
So
go.
week 4 of the program right now, and feels pretty good.
You shooting for like high school weight?
Go full starvation mode. full blown Unit 731.
You go
World War II Japan.
You go down to 160.
I'd have to commit biological warfare on myself to get that
Yeah,
low
you
again.
would. You
Like
would.
genuinely.
You'd have to be eating like 500 calories.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
literally.
Yeah, I mean, it would be awful.
Yeah.
It would be terrible.
Yeah.
Like that's the thing. Lowest I'll probably ever go again. Probably like 225, 230.
Yeah.
Like
I think
that's
you'd be nasty at 225.
Well, because you got to remember when we were doing jujitsu, I was
Mhm.
about 230, 235.
Yeah.
My gas tank was really good at
Oh,
that
I
point
believe
in
it.
time.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
And it didn't take away from my strength and all that stuff too.
Sure.
So there's like that balance. Like right now my strength's really good, but my gas tank's not as good. And that's what I'm working on with the program.
Sure.
So it's, as you and I both know, the programming part is so fun. And like
Oh, yeah.
building these skills, not only in your clients like we
Mhm.
do, but also in yourself it's a blast.
Yeah.
It really is.
Absolutely
Yeah.
it is. Yeah.
Mm.
And it's, you and I obviously have a pretty good gauge, not only of ourselves, but just how programming should work. We're not perfect, certainly, but we have a lot of trial and error between the 2 of us. And we've seen what works, what doesn't work. We see how often you and I can switch up programs for ourselves. And yeah, absolutely. It's fun. A ton of fun. I'm kind of getting to that stage now where I'll probably be looking into switching some things up. Probably go on a little cut here as we're approaching the warmer months.
Mhm.
It's always an exciting time. I always look forward to that time of the year when I go down a weight some. And at this point, I know what additional things come with cutting down weight. Energy will get a little bit lower for me, but the sun will be out longer, and I'll be outside more. So that kind of makes up for it, kind of like the balance you just talked about.
You can play a little bit of the game with the nutrition too, where you can do like the refeeds or the carb cycling as necessary, depending on when you're doing. So that way with, higher carb days, you have the higher performance on your needed days and whatnot, so it's fun to even mess around with that a little bit too.
100%, dude. Yeah, 100%. Well, as we mentioned, we do have a Forging Fortitude, but before we get into that, Mitch, you have a fact of the day for us. Not sure what your brother's doing over here.
There was a stupid little bug flying around. What in the world?
I think he's losing it.
Yeah, he was joining special
I was going.
That was his tryout for the locomotives.
Yes, correct.
If you don't know, you need to go look it up.
I'd be nasty on the locomotives.
I would hope so. I could be nasty on the locomotives.
They weren't even that bad. Low key though. Mitch can tell you.
Goodness.
They weren't even that bad.
Watch just gets walked.
Oh, he would. Some of the guys on the team, he would actually though.
Okay, considering I have never actually skated like that, I'm sure I would. I'm sure I would.
Bro, Mitchell gets fried in basketball.
We're bringing cameras.
So you got to remember that too.
Yeah,
some of them just splash from just downtown. It's crazy.
Just pull up from the half court line.
Insane.
Bro, when I was doing a lot of work with Challenger baseball, which is same idea as what you're doing for the basketball and same idea as the locomotives. Some of these kids are just mashing balls, and they take their sweet ass time going around the bases too. They love every second of it.
They love to pimp the home runs.
Oh yeah. You better watch out. There's a bat being thrown.
Because we've went to those like the softball versions of those games and whatnot. And they're cocky.
It's
oh my
so
gosh,
fun,
dude!
though.
It's awesome.
It's
so much fun.
There's so much passion and excitement. You can't help but have a ton of fun.
The thing is too, it's crazy because again, that's a good lesson because it's like sports are supposed to be fun.
Yeah,
they're supposed to be that enjoyable.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So as funny as that all is, that's awesome. They're crushing balls like that too.
It takes a special patience, and a correct frame of mind and understanding. Yeah. Patience being the biggest one there, but my goodness, that type of stuff can be so fun.
Probably 80-90% of people couldn't work with Special Olympics properly.
Probably not,
because the patience required is definitely different.
Yeah,
it's very unique.
And in addition to that too, there's a different alertness that's got to come with it. Especially if you're playing a sport. You got balls flying around, you got bats flying around, you got soccer balls being kicked or whatever it might be. There's a special alertness that comes with it too. But
100%.
It can be so rewarding though. It really can.
Yeah.
It really, really can. Super random.
Side
note
good,
there.
Good
from
side
us,
note.
But yeah. Anyway, Mitch, back to the day. What you got for us?
Speaking of sports, Abraham Lincoln.
Oh, yeah.
Did you know?
That's exactly what I think of with
He
him.
was a local wrestling champion before his political career. He supposedly won 300 matches and only lost one.
That sounds like some Donald Trump stats there.
Yeah. Abe definitely got into office and scrubbed all the losses. 100%. Yeah.
I was 301.
Supposedly Abe was extremely cocky growing up too.
Really?
There was history that writes about that. Apparently he was a little bit abrasive to a certain degree. Yeah. Which again, a lot of times the guys that get into power, that tends to happen.
Sure,
a lot of people probably say that about Andrew Jackson too.
Yeah.
When he was president in the 1830s. Is that correct? That's going to test me.
I think you'd be right there.
I think it was middle of 1820s to 1830s,
Yeah.
right about. Somebody would have to fact check me on that. But those guys, in history, they come off, people go back and look at Napoleon, for example, and they're like, oh, this guy was an asshole and stuff like that. He won, though.
He was a conqueror.
Yeah, exactly. It's like you can call it Napoleon syndrome all you want.
Oh, yeah.
But he got W's on the battlefield.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Who's laughing here?
That's right.
So to speak. You know what I mean?
That's right.
Yeah.
All right. So Abe Lincoln, badass wrestler.
Yeah, I'm not going to pretend I heard that before, but for some reason that does just add up that he was a wrestler. I don't know why.
Which is weird because he was tall. A lot of times the tall wrestlers actually don't do
That's
super
a good
well.
point. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I wonder too if that was one of the only real sports that was available then at that time too. It's not like they were playing football and and lacrosse or whatever.
Yeah, certainly not lacrosse, but I actually don't know when football
Canada
was founded. I would assume soccer was probably around.
Dude.
Mitch is just... Here, we'll look it up. When was he president?
18. Well, it was just the one term, correct? 1861 to 1865?
Looking it up right now since our producer over there is busy doing God knows what. 1861 to 1865.
Yeah. Okay.
So now we're going to look up what sports being played.
Well, because I'm thinking football was like late 1800s more than anything else.
60s.
Lacrosse technically was being played in Canada at the time.
Okay, so the first 8 that pop up here. Australian rules football. I'm assuming that's probably a rugby type thing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Baseball, boxing. Boxing was
Boxing, huge. Yeah, of course.
Cricket, football, golf, horse racing, and rowing.
Huh. Well, I guess the golf makes sense because a lot of the elite started playing stuff like that.
For sure.
You know, like polo was big over in the UK.
Yeah.
Or Great Britain at the time.
And this, I just clicked on the football one. Well, it's considering it the family of football. So
Gotcha.
Soccer, Australian rules, which looks like rugby, Gaelic, gridiron, rugby league, rugby union.
Nice.
So
that's cool.
there you go.
That's really cool.
Yeah. So there were actually quite a few sports around. Yeah.
Interesting little side note there.
Definitely.
On the episode there for sure. Yeah.
Definitely. All right. Episode 191, Forging Fortitude. Let's get into it.
Let's do it.
No
100%.
words, just execution.
Just execute.
Pretty
Just
simple.
Just like we're about to do here.
Straightforward,
Mhm.
you know. There's not too much diving into the meaning behind the title that we have to do because it's pretty self-explanatory. But in our experience, this was certainly something that we had to take more serious as far as extrication and Untapped, and we continue to have to, of course. We've told this story multiple times on the podcast, but it's been a bit, and we have a lot of new listeners now. But when we were starting Extrication Fitness back in the day, back in 2020, give or take, we were a lot of words, little execution, very little execution. And
almost non-existent execution.
Pretty much,
damn near,
as funny as that is, like that's pretty much the truth, and part of that was because we were so brand new to the idea of doing something for ourselves, creating a business, running a business, creating a brand, things like that. We hadn't connected with all the great people that we've connected with, at this point that have been able to teach us these certain things. We weren't involved with S2 and First Form very much to learn about brand building from those guys, like we are now. So we were trying to plan out everything. And as you know, and as those of you that are listening or watching that are close to me, I operate very heavily in the trying to plan out, just about everything. And that's not always, number one, it's not always the best method. Number two, most of the time it doesn't ever go according to the exact plan. With certain things, you can get pretty close, obviously, but almost always something is going to go wrong or it just has to go a different direction. You got to make adjustments. So we were trying to plan every single thing with extrication. We were trying to come up with names for the longest time. We were trying to come up then with a logo for the longest time. And then we were trying to come up with posting schedules and what we were going to post and what we were going to do and this and that and this and that. And we probably did that for multiple months, and we had nothing. We had nothing to show for it. We had all this stuff in Google Docs and Excel sheets and and in
notebooks.
Notebooks.
Same
Oh
thing,
yeah,
yeah.
Tons of that. Yeah, absolutely. I bet those are buried somewhere. I bet I could find those.
I think
honestly.
I did find a one actually,
like an old
yesterday.
one?
Yeah, and
yeah.
I'll show you it after. But yeah, it's kind of cool.
And also ton like on our notes in our
course,
phone.
yeah.
I know I've got a bunch of that stuff still, but
we actually utilize that now.
yeah, correctly.
Yeah, right.
Yes,
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, and we use it very effectively. Same with things like Notion. They keep us very organized, and it's things that we can both have access to. So we're seeing what each other is adding and different ideas and topics and what have you. So we're much more effective with those tools now. Because when it started, again, we had all these plans and all these words and nothing to show for it. We didn't have an Instagram account. We weren't posting when we did have the account. And then we finally just got to the point. It's like, we literally just have to go. I think I very vividly remember in the place that we continuously planned all this out, which is a great story. A lot of you have heard that. One of the most random places you could be at is a movie theater bar, that we planned a lot of the original stuff at. I don't remember if it was me or you that said it, but we just came to the conclusion. It's like, okay, we just have to go. We just have to go. And we'll figure out these other things as we start going. When we were coming up with the idea for the podcast, same thing. we were almost borderline trying to script the entire podcast, which is ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
And now you guys definitely know that these are very unscripted. We have outlines.
I hope they could tell that.
We've turned scripts into outlines, which work much better.
Oh, by far.
Much better.
Including for guest episodes, too.
Including for guest episodes.
You guys would be surprised like how much we allow the conversation to flow in guest episodes, too.
Absolutely. Yeah. And again, we get a little more strict, quote unquote, with the outlines for the guest episodes, especially depending on who we have on, and the specific things that
like
we want to talk about.
Missouri State Capitol,
Yeah, we're not going to talk about bench pressing with David Gregory. You know what I mean? Even though it did go into like golf and things like that.
Funny enough, he probably would have loved doing that.
Probably would have. Yeah.
Yeah.
But correct. Your point is obviously very, very correct. We tailor the outline to the guest because we typically have a specific reason that we're bringing on such guests. But in all these different areas that we've talked about so far, that I've talked about so far, it came down to we just had to start doing it, start executing on these things that we're planning, and find what works, find what doesn't work, and we, again, back to the start of the podcast, we were shoved into a corner, kind of across the room from me here. We had one microphone in between us, and we made it work. We were executing to the best of the ability of the things that we had access to. We went through, I don't even know how many different softwares, before we had Mitch. We probably tried like 4 or 5 different softwares.
Uh-huh.
And, we were set up on an old iPad for the camera, and was it great? No. Did it work? Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And did we execute on it? Yeah. Did we produce content? Yeah. And here we are almost at 200 episodes, almost 5 years into this thing, so it's, excuse me. It just comes down, you have to execute on these things.
Well, I want to pose a question to get the listeners involved a little bit here too. For you guys listening or watching on YouTube or watching on Spotify for that matter as well, I want you guys to kind of determine, what is your version of extrication or what is your version of Untapped? What are you not executing on?
Yeah.
What are you planning for over and over again? In the comments on Spotify, YouTube, our Reels, whatever you want to post it on. Post that comment, post a question in there or the thing that you guys have that you're not acting on so you can have a little bit of accountability here. Post it in our men's group if you're in our men's group on Facebook as well. Because here's the thing. Wurtz and I did literally have to tell each other, just jump. Just take the leap and go. You know what I mean? And like Wurtz said, guys, we're still not even at the end point of what we want the podcast to look like.
Of course not.
We have some big additions coming up here in this year for that should change it drastically in a really positive manner as well.
Absolutely. Very exciting.
And I know you agree with that for sure. So there's that. But it's like, not only are we always improving, but here's the thing, is that if you're sitting on your Google Docs or you're sitting on your notes folder and whatnot, and you're planning over and over again like we were and whatnot, understand that there will never be the finished product ever. We're never going to have a finished product, so to speak, of Untapped.
Correct.
We're always going to be looking to get better in that scenario. We're never going to have the end product of our physique, of our fitness, of our training, et cetera. That's never going to be a thing. We're never going to stop learning to get better for our clients as well, in person or online, for that matter. So I want you guys to keep that in mind, is that if you are imagining some kind of end product with any of those things, business, fitness, family, etc., you're imagining some kind of end product, you're always, and you should always be looking just to get better and chase the journey, so to speak, along the way, which you've had plenty of Merry Mondays that talk about that and whatnot. We've had episodes that have mentioned this type of stuff before too. So,
I mean, look at if we want to go the business route first here, look at any big company. I would use First Form, but maybe not all of you are as connected to First Form as what we are. So let's say a Nike, a huge recognizable brand by just about anyone in the world. It started very small, and then it continues to grow today. Now they have gym equipment that you can buy.
Steve Jobs in his garage with
Steve
Apple.
Jobs in his garage. Look at Amazon. They sold books.
It was just books.
And now they sell everything, and you get it sometimes the same day you order it. So look at any of these huge companies, whatever your thoughts are on big companies and big business, put that aside and just
another conversation.
And just look at the constant growth, the constant pushing for more. Andy talks about this all the time with First Form. He says they're nowhere near where he wants it to be. And as as partners with them and as customers with them, we have no reason not to believe that to be true. You know, that they still have plenty of places to go. Look at S2. They've been around since the late 90s now, and they're still rebranding. They're still coming up with new concepts for stores with the smoothie bars and the ice cream and the apparel now. And then if you want to look at the physical side, look at a guy like C-Bum, Chris Bumstead. There's a reason he won 6 straight Olympias, Mr. Olympias. It's not because he had a great physique. Obviously he did, but it's because he knew how to improve more and more year after year, year after year over the other competitors as well. He could have won one and said, hey, this is my physique. This is the best I can get. He said, nah, Hani, let's go. We got 5 more to win. And then he goes on a 6 straight year of winning them, you know? So it's the same idea. Like, even a guy like that who won all those different Olympias, he was still improving and still going back for more. You know, anyone could look at C-Bum and like, yeah, that guy looks awesome. He's jacked. He's got crazy abs. You can see every vein in his body. Like, he's huge. But he keeps going back for more because he knows it can get better.
And now he's doing it with the business route.
You know? You're
talking about the bum energy and whatnot.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're talking about all the different stuff he's invested in, which I think he's invested in Raw and stuff like that. The different supplement companies there too.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
So like it doesn't just stop with his physique there for him either, you know. And that's a good lesson for sure. And that's a good example to use with C-Bum there, because a lot of the times what I think you and I both see when it comes to people with they're doing the words but no execution. You know, so I'll just reverse the title a little bit here. The words, but no execution, is primarily, again, you and I are, you know, working these spaces, and, you know, our career is based in this health and fitness space, is mainly where you hear the words, but the no execution.
Sure.
You hear the, well, when I'm done with this section of my schooling, then I'll start training.
Yeah.
When my kids are 5 years old, then I'll start training. What else? I mean, keep listing here.
Yeah.
You know, when the job calms down a little bit, I'm not in this really busy phase for these next 3 months, then I'll consider it.
Yeah. Because there's a difference between having a busy 3 months and a busy 2 weeks at work. You got a busy 2 weeks, you know, around the holidays or something, like, okay, we understand life gets a little hectic for a 1 to 2 week period.
Sure.
That's okay.
Still get training in during those
you definitely
weeks.
You definitely still can. Or if that's the couple weeks or the week where you're just able to get walks in, get the walks in. You know what I mean? So you can still make it work in some fashion.
You're not stopping. Yeah.
Not stopping. But if you have a busy 3 months or a busy 6 months or a busy year, there's still plenty of time to get your workouts in, get your correct meals in. It might just mean a little more prep the day before. Prep your meals.
Yep.
Prep your schedule. Prep yourself by getting clothes out or whatever it is. It's pretty simple.
Let me ask this as well too. It's like you can answer this, but also the listeners. Again, it's like, do you guys really think that magically you're going to have more time in 2 years,
right?
Or in 6 months, or in 2 weeks? Life just continues to get busier, so to speak. You just have to adapt to your schedule and the ability to actually program your life around that schedule, so to speak. Do you really think things are going to get simpler?
Right.
Do you think time I ended up having more time when I had a daughter,
right?
When Haven was born,
right?
Do you really think I had more time now that she's born?
Right.
No, but also, am I actually executing on my program probably better than I ever have right now? I also am doing that as well.
Because you have more directed time now. You know that when you get home at night, you're home to be with Holly and Haven. You know, or obviously the nights that we work and stuff, like, but that's already programmed in, as you just said, programmed into the schedule, you know? And so it's having a game plan, you know, it's setting yourself up to be successful in those things.
When are you going to have more time?
Yeah, right.
That's what I'm wondering here.
Right. It's not the weekends. It's not the summer. It's not the winter. It's just, there's always stuff going on.
Yeah. There's always some excuse you can give yourself.
Right.
There's always, like, for example, another one of our guys we know just recently failed 75 hard again. And there's more events that, you know, he wants to drink at. There's more events that he's like, well, we had car trouble, so that got in the way again. And I want to go to my friend's birthday party in 2 weeks and drink at that. And like, okay, then just say that you're not going to do 75 hard at that point in time.
Right.
Just say you're not going to execute on the stuff. Because I would respect somebody more, going off the topic of 75 hard here, not discussing that. I would actually respect somebody more if they were like, honestly, I'm just lazy, dude. Honestly, I'm not good with my time.
Yeah.
I don't execute on the time I have. I would rather you tell me that.
For sure.
I would respect you more for that than telling me 8 excuses that literally everybody else in your life also has.
Mm-hmm.
Again, especially you and I, through men's workouts and the stuff we do and whatnot, we a lot of the times work with younger single guys in the capacity that we are working with them. It's like, bro, there's never going to be more time in your life than now.
Yeah.
I promise you that as a new husband and father. I promise you can still get it done even when you're a husband and father, but especially now you can really hammer the gas pedal when you're a 23-year-old who has no responsibilities outside of work, maybe, or something like that, or maybe school, and that's it. Right. I promise you have the time.
Yeah.
And if you build the foundation, then you'll just keep doing it by the time you're a husband and father then too.
Right.
So like the remaining question is just when is it going to be time? When is it going to be time? When is it going to be time for you to go? When is it going to be time for you to jump? When is it going to be time for you to take that next step into the business, into the fitness, into the relationship, whatever it is? Because again, too, it's like that execution also relates to family and your wife, your girlfriend, whatever it is. That execution relates there too, because it's like, okay, you've been dating this girl that you say you want to marry for 7 years now, and you still haven't proposed because, well, it'll be a right time in 6 months. It'll be a right time in 2 years. And it's like, okay, like, what's the ending point here? When is this going to happen? That could go for a relationship. That could go for, I really got to take a trip to see my parents. They're 2 hours away, whatever it is. Like, I really got to do that. Okay, when is that going to be? Is it going to be in 6 months? And then you won't see your parents for 6 months. You're just going to call them and that's it.
Right.
Same thing goes the same way. You know what I mean? And it's got to be self-honesty. You know what I mean? Like if you're not doing it, just say like, I'm not prioritizing my time. So that's why I'm not doing it. Instead of doing I have this going on. I have this going on. I have that going on. Well, this is going on here. Because the people we hear say that, you will 100% agree with this. The people we hear say that are not CEOs of companies. Right. They're not on Wall Street. They're not medical doctors that work 14 to 24-hour shifts or whatever, or something like that. Yeah. Same with CEOs. They're not getting 5 hours of sleep a night and then working 16-hour days as a CEO or something like that. They're just not. Yeah. They're not. That's not true.
Right.
That's the people we know doing that are the ones making excuses, have an 8-hour workday at most.
Yeah.
And they might work 4 out of those 8 hours, actually.
If that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and then again, they might be like, imagine like some of those guys, they don't understand that. They're like, well, my wife has me doing this and stuff like that. It's like, I don't think you understand. Like, you married this woman. I guarantee if you guys both get on a program of some sort, she will go on a 30-minute walk with you at night. You can take the kids to do that. Yeah. If you don't have kids yet, she will go on the walk with you. I promise you that.
Bro,
I promise you.
Post-dinner walk.
Dude, literally.
Post-dinner walks are great.
Oh, they're awesome.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Take 30 minutes and just settle the stomach. Oh, it's great.
Yeah.
And the thing is, it's like, again, that can be done. And I promise you, if you're actually leading your relationship as a man properly, she will go with you. She will go to the gym if you tell her, hey, you go to the gym at this time, I'm going to the gym at this time today. Because then you're giving her time too. And then it's not just about you and that's it.
Yeah.
I guarantee you have the time. Again, unless we have some, 9-figure CEOs listening to this episode or something like that, then, even then they still make the time.
I was going to say,
they still block out 45 minutes for a workout, so.
Yeah, exactly. All right. 191, no words, just execution. Execute.
Love it.
Yeah. All right, at the end of all of our non-guest episodes, Money Mitch will ask us a Q&A question that's submitted by you guys, the listeners or the viewers. Now, we have a few different ways we would like you guys to submit these questions to us. First, you can DM them to us on Instagram at untapped.llp. You can also DM them to us individually or text them to us if you have our number. You can email them to us. Our email is untappedllp@gmail.com. That's also in our Instagram and Facebook bios. And then finally, you can leave them in the comments of any of our social media posts. We're very active on the big 5, so that's Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, and YouTube Shorts. Leave your questions on any of the comment sections of those platforms. These questions can be about anything, health and fitness, some kind of mindset question, current event question, funny questions. It doesn't really matter. They all get sent over here to Money Mitch, and then he will ask one at the end of the episode. What you got for us?
Well, what do I got for you guys? I don't know. Other than petting a furry beast in those nice white chairs.
Yeah.
Well,
What do you mean?
White chairs. Well,
cream. How about that?
They started that way anyway.
Yeah, they started white for sure.
Cream. How about that? Ivory. What about those?
We'd
colors?
have to get Drew with DN Details. Shout out. Detailing company, by the way.
A good idea.
True, though. We'd have to get Drew to literally steam clean these things.
Oh, yeah.
Straight up.
Should you make an edit of it, like those hype beast edits where it's like
Yeah.
making
No,
angles
literally.
of the
We probably
chairs?
could.
Again, you've told him you'll do some of that stuff for him. Yeah.
Oh,
So
yeah.
maybe that's the one.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm deep cleaning our chair. This is the edit for.
That's the one that goes viral is steam cleaning a chair. Excellent.
Bro, people would love that stuff
People
though,
would
because
love
like the stuff that comes out of the
Yeah.
chair, they'd watch it and be like, "Oh, that's so satisfying."
Bro,
Yeah.
I got hooked into a video on TikTok the other day of these guys that seal asphalt driveways.
Oh yeah.
They're just
Yeah.
pouring the stuff all over. He's got his like big squeegee thing, and it's like, why did I just spend 2.5 minutes watching this video?
That's like that one mowing guy on
Yeah,
TikTok and stuff
same
like that.
thing.
So
Yep.
satisfying. He'll
Yeah.
go in and like mow a house that's just overgrown for
Yep.
free.
I know exactly
and
what
it
you're
looks
talking about.
awesome after.
Yeah,
It's like,
oh, yeah.
man, I wish I was doing that for work, low-key.
Yeah, right. All right. Anyway, we're way off track.
So speaking of work, you guys made generalized statements of just execute, right? What are a couple of ways to actually force yourself to execute? Are there ways to make yourself think? Are there actions you can take to cause that mindset to occur?
I like it. Just execute, bro.
Just like those loser sales guys on Instagram or whatnot.
Right.
Bro, you just got to get a sales funnel built. How do you build a sales funnel? Buy my coaching program.
Yeah, right.
It's
That'll
like,
be
what?
$900. Okay, thanks, dude. Yeah, thanks. I guess one actionable way, and it's the one we use, is, and we talked about this a bit last week. Not everyone will have access to this, but using the power list function in the Operator Standard app,
Or in the book.
Or
literally your own power list on a sheet of paper.
And that's where I was going to go
Yeah.
because anyone can have access to that. It's writing your tasks out on a list, and that's not some new concept that we're coming up with, of course, but it's a easy way to hold yourself accountable to completing the actual tasks that you need to for that day. They can be as simple or as in depth as you need them to be, but they have to be productive. If you already make your bed every day, making your bed cannot be one of your tasks. Okay. Now, if you struggle to make your bed, you need to make that a habit. Maybe that is one of your tasks for a few weeks until it is just what you do. If you don't make your bed, like, what are we doing? No wonder you're fat because you don't make your bed. You know what I mean?
It's like the, what's it called? Same thing as like, I haven't brushed my teeth in a week. I'm going to put this on my power list or something. It's like, oh, goodness. Like, dude.
Maybe schedule a dentist appointment too. If you don't brush your teeth and make your bed,
It's always those two people come back to because like a lot of the corny Forging Fortitude type content online.
Yeah.
Which isn't Forging Fortitude because ours is the best, of course.
Right. Copyrighted.
Yeah, right. Copyright. But a lot of the, in general, like productivity content online, it always mentions those as examples and whatnot.
Right.
And it's like, okay, let's give more concrete examples here. Like, yeah.
That's less than the bare minimum.
Yeah.
like that's just what humans do.
Well,
it's what humans do. We'll stop it there. We'll stop it there.
We'll cut it there on that one for sure. Wow.
So I would say that. Because that's an actionable way. It's a physical, actionable way. You can see it right in front of your face, and only if you actually completed those things. One other way that comes to mind is just preparation. I very actively prepare myself for the next day, whether that's just a normal work day during the week, or if it's a situation where right from work, I'm going straight to the gym without coming home, then the night before I'm packing clothes, I'm packing shaker bottles, I'm packing the gym bag, and I'm probably packing the camera bag as well. And actually, a lot of the time, I will even go put some of that stuff in my car so I don't have to try and carry my entire room in the morning because that sucks.
Mm-hmm.
So
hopefully if you live in a safe area, you can do that. But if you're,
correct.
Correct. Don't be stupid if there's a bunch of
Right,
carjackings around your area.
Of course.
Yeah.
When we have our men's workouts the night before, I'm loading up my side of the sandbags so that I don't have to do it at 6:45 in the morning.
Yep. I always have my clothes sitting out on the kitchen counter the night before.
Exactly.
Those. Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm like, it's easier to grab them and get into them.
Yeah. So it's just it's preparation, and while those sound like simple things, they are, but it might buy you an extra 10 minutes the following morning.
Mm-hmm.
What does everyone hate? Rushing in the morning. I mean, it's not fun to have to rush around in the morning, whether you're trying to get to an obligation, get to work, or whatever it is. Like, no one wants to be doing that. So the way to combat that is preparing yourself the night before. So those would be my two actionable ways.
Yeah.
Lists, physical lists, and preparation.
Yeah, I'll obviously say, like, with the operator standard stuff we've been using, that's been huge for one. But one thing that, again, as Wurtz mentioned earlier in the episode, he's a big planner and whatnot, and much more dialed with that. One thing that's helped me at least give me some structure with my planning, because, Captain ADHD over here, sometimes my planning in the past has been really bad, but it's got a lot better.
It has. I can vouch for you there.
Yeah, and I appreciate that.
Yeah.
But one thing that especially Holly and I like to do, for both Holly and I, but then also myself on Sundays, is I look ahead to the week. For example, what Holly's got going on at lunch, all that stuff, what she's got going on, if she's, maybe seeing some of her friends or something like that, and I'm going to watch Haven then. And then also, what time will I have to do what during the week on Sundays?
Yeah.
What time will I have to get in my program to work? Because I need to hit every day in my program if it's actually going to be effective. And so that's been a big thing, is like actually having a Sunday look at the next week, because that's the biggest thing I've run into when it comes to, especially in-person clients. I get to talk to them a lot more, of course, right now at Iron Hive, where I'm able to sit down with them and be like, hey, the reason that you're not getting the workouts in that outside of our sessions, that, by the way, we need to have if we're going to get results.
Right.
The reason that's not happening is because you're deciding that day whether or not you're going to exercise after work.
Yeah.
You're deciding that day.
Yeah.
It needs to be a Sunday discussion to where this day I will do this.
Yeah.
Monday I will have this. Thursday I will have this. Saturday I will have this. And I will go downstairs to my treadmill and get on the treadmill and do 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And it's already set that way.
Right.
And again, like, I'm not going to pretend to be like that I'm lining out my macros and stuff like that or anything like that, because I've never claimed to be Captain Macro or anything like that. You know what I mean? But do I also have a really solid diet lined out right now along with my program? Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
100%. Am I intaking a bunch of shit food every week? No, I'm not. And that's stuff you can have set out. Holly and I have started meal prepping together and whatnot because she's a good cook. I'm an ass cook. Thank God I married a woman who can cook. That's a big one, gentlemen, when you're looking for a woman. But the point is like, even something like that where Holly and I, or neither of us, are like set planners usually. But if I know, okay, she has this, I can go during lunch to work out.
Yeah.
Or vice versa. She can meet me at the first 30 minutes at Iron Hive. I'll get my work done, then she gets her work done. Perfect. We already know that happens.
Yeah.
We don't decide that the day of on Wednesday when that's happening. You know what I mean? Because otherwise, that like what Wurtz said, it's the same concept as rushing in the morning. You're basically having to like plan in the middle of the day while you're also trying to focus on work and business and stuff like that too.
Right.
It just doesn't work.
No, it doesn't.
It's just not an effective strategy at all.
There's off chances that it'll work. You can be flexible.
Might get lucky. A couple days. Yeah.
Right. But I think your Sunday planning idea is fantastic. And I think at the latest, those decisions should be made the day before or the night before,
100%.
and it's the same idea, whether it's planning out your whole week, planning out day to day, but the day before, like, that's always going to help you execute better. It just is.
That's, I mean, what you're talking about too with the night routine, that's a big one in week, like day to day. That's probably the biggest one to have, what you're saying there.
Yeah.
Because I want to double down on that again, because if you're able to actually, one, get your nighttime routine done, for you and I, it's a lot of the stuff like the magnesium, the greens, whatever, that type of stuff, or at least it used to be in some capacities there. if we get that done, that also helps set up the next day because your
Yeah.
sleep is better then too.
Right.
So you feel more refreshed in the morning and whatnot. If you set out the clothes, then I don't have to, while Holly and Haven are sleeping, I don't have to go back in and bang around in the room
Right.
and stuff like that either.
Right.
Because I already have the clothes set out. And they're not, and again, I'm not claiming that every day I do this perfect by any means. Some days I'm like, where the hell is my belt? And I have to go back in there and dig around for it. I feel like an asshole for doing that. But again, the planning day to day, but also the week before is probably my biggest thing for sure.
Hell yeah. Yeah. All right, guys, there you have it. We had our last men's event this past weekend on the 21st.
Mhm.
Our next one, gentlemen, will be March 7th. That one should be back over at Parkway South. Untapped newsletter. Go to our Instagram bio. It'll pull up our beacons, which has all of our links in one spot. Very easy. Second or third one down is our Untapped newsletter. Just put your email in there. It'll send you a confirmation, confirm that, and you are set. Completely free. Just good, solid information coming out each week. I think that is all of the announcements.
Men's group, double down on that. I mentioned it earlier, but
Men's group. If
Yeah.
gentlemen, if you have any interest in being in our Facebook group, just let us know. There's already a lot of you in it. It's grown very fast.
well over 30 members, I think, at this
Yeah.
point in time, which
Yeah.
is awesome. Now, again, I want to add this in too with the men's group here before we go off that point. If you're going to join the men's group, be involved.
Correct.
If you're going to be on Facebook and you're going to be involved with it, send the introduction, interact with the post in there and whatnot, give us some feedback, add your own stuff in there and whatnot,
For sure.
and we'll keep you in the group.
For sure.
Pretty simple.
And
there.
if not, we won't.
We won't keep you in the group, correct.
Right.
And we have no problem doing that because Wurtz and I are not worried about everybody else's opinions on that
Correct.
stuff. So
Correct. Yep. For sure. Guys, that is episode 191. We are, again, quickly approaching number 200 here.
Mhm.
Very, very exciting. The planning has already begun on that. We are pumped. So, guys, that is episode 191. Until next time, peace and love.
thank you, ladies and gentlemen.